Hi, I'm Grannie SolVRa, and today I'm going to review A Fisherman's Tale. Not that I'm actually into fishing, but I figured, hey, give it a go. Ultimately, that's actually one of the great benefits of VR. You can get to do things that you've never done before. You could visit places that you never visited, or even revisit places from your life and re-enjoy all of those lovely memories. Anyway, back onto the review. This game was fun to play. It has a slightly different look and feel to other games, and its puzzles were rather interesting without being overly difficult. If you like puzzles, but not ones that are cryptic or complex, then this game may be quite attractive to you. The game's actually fairly short. There's a start and 5 brief chapters. In fact, I ended up being a bit disappointed when it finished so soon. I wanted more to do. I was getting better at what I was doing, and then suddenly it was over. There actually is another game in this. It's titled Another Fisherman's Tale. My husband's played it, and he tells me it is more extensive and longer than this one. I haven't started to play that yet, but when I do, I'll give it a review and you can tune on in and listen. However, really, in the end, short games can be good, especially for those of you who may be looking for what game to just give it a try, just to test the water, just to see. And this one is fairly easy to work your way through it. I've actually seen online that some of the young professional gamers take only about 90 minutes to complete this entire game. I personally took quite a few days spread over a few weeks, as I never play for too long in any one go, and I want to spread the experience out over time. It's pretty good for various settings. You can change the default language from English to German or to French. And in good news, this game includes settings to let you play in a few modes, including seated. So you can sit back, take on the role of the fisherman lighthouse keeper, and enjoy yourself. In fact, that's what the story's about. The lead character, you, appears as a puppet. And I actually have to say, early in the game, the first time I saw myself in that mirror, it fascinated me, that image looking back at me. I know it wasn't my face, but that whole thing about VR is I also knew that it was me. And that's what being immersed is all about. It's about feeling that it is actually happening. The fundamental goal of this game is that the lights in the lighthouse have gone out, and you need to work your way through various rooms, a variety of puzzles, and a giant storm to bring the lighthouse back online. It's fairly escape room styled in that way. Along the way, you interact with a handful of characters. This delightfully cheeky hermit crab that lives in your favourite seashell, and this talking fish. The game begins, and you go through the same daily process, brushing your teeth, lighting the wooden stove, opening the window, and working on your model of the lighthouse. As you do this, you can be given hints on how to navigate and use controls throughout the game. However, of course, you have to turn that on in the settings beforehand. The real fun begins when you receive a message about the upcoming storm. The visuals are good. They are neither cartoonish nor photorealistic. They're just that in-between good quality, and they're good enough that they immerse you in the gameplay. It's a fairly smooth running game. Some parts of it, especially at the very start and towards the end, they're actually dark and dim, and you need to work through to turn lights on. But that might not work for those with impaired vision. It's easy enough to feel that you are really in this game and to be absorbed in what you're doing. A lot of the objects you can interact with, and of course, solving the puzzles requires you to do exactly that. You have to seek, you've got to touch, you've got to put into play and interact with objects around you. The narrator, the hermit crab, and the fish are spoken by the one voice talent. The English spoken version is heavily French accented. Frankly, at first I found it cute, but as the game went on, it seemed a little OTT to me. Frequently, though, when I came out of the game, I started using a fake French accent when speaking at home. So it kind of did affect me a little bit. To me, one of the most fascinating things about this game is the triple layering. By that, I mean there is you, and you are building a miniature model that exactly mimics what you are doing. And outside, surrounding you, there's a giant you also mimicking what you are doing. This is a clue to a lot of the puzzle solving, because sometimes you need an item that is smaller or larger than what is in your room. And so you need to switch between the large, the normal, and the mini rooms as you do this. Hilariously for me, because I feel I have fairly good spatial skills, I sometimes got this wrong and I sought out the smaller version instead of the larger and vice versa. But, you know, you pretty quickly realise a mistake and you correct it. This Russian doll-styled game mechanism makes A Fisherman's Tale highly memorable. VR itself helps your mind adjust to the scale of these three different levels, and it all becomes so interesting to be a part of. Sometimes I just looked in awe at that impact, especially at the end when you clearly saw all three of the layers looking into a layer, looking into a layer, looking into a layer. There was actually one part when I did get motion wobbly. At one stage, you ride in the mouth of a giant fish, a tuna. You need to do that to solve an issue. Actually, you ride in it a few times, and each of those rides made me a little disoriented. Thankfully, though, the ride's extremely short, as in just a few seconds, so there's no lasting effect. And none of that, I need to get out of here. Just a uh-oh feeling. For fun, here's a picture of my husband and that tuna. By the way, having both of us in the household play the same game in a semi-similar time period works out well. We discuss our experiences with each other and have additional memories and often give each other hints and tips, which helps bring a feeling of being useful back to both of us. My final verdict, a highly interesting, not too complex, fun game. It is short in length and it did leave at least me wanting more. It's a game that I feel is good for those who are new to VR to give it a go. Obviously, it's also good if you're a regular player and you're just seeking some light fun. And that's my review. If you're enjoying these, please subscribe and share them with families and friends. You'll find the subscription button over there. See you next time. Bye.